Good day, everyone. So for today, we are going to discuss the limitations and possibilities of a human person. Last quarter, we learned that a man is composed of a body and a soul. And it says here that the soul is perfect, yet it is imprisoned to a body that limits the real perfection. The body limits the man to know everything. Sinasabi dito na ang soul daw is perfect, meaning ang soul daw ay nag-exist na before pa ipanganak ang isang tao with the perfect knowledge of ideas. But once na yung soul is na-imprisoned sa body, which is mortal or nade-decompose, that's why nalilimit na yung soul into its real perfection. The soul once lived in the reality and knew about everything, but once na na-imprison na siya sa body, nakalimutan niya na lahat ng knowledge na meron siya. Since yung body nga is mortal or nade-decompose, siya rin yung naglilimit sa man to know everything because if a man knows everything, he is not a limited being anymore. Only God knows everything and God is an absolute being. That's why acquiring knowledge is just a mere remembering of all the things in the reality. We remember knowledge, we acquire wisdom. Since yung soul nga is nag-exist na siya before in the reality and meron na siyang perfect knowledge of ideas, but na-imprison siya sa body which is a limited being, nakalimutan niya na rin lahat ng knowledge na meron siya before. And this implies that man learn nothing. Kapag nakakatuklas ang tao ng isang bagay o bagong kaalaman, hindi siya nakakagain ng knowledge mula dito dahil meron na nga siyang knowledge before. Kaya, ang nangyayari is nare-remember o nare-recall niya na lang yung knowledge na nalaman niya ngayon kasi nga yung soul is meron ng perfect knowledge of ideas. Kaya pag nakakatuklas ng bagong kaalaman ng isang tao, nire-recall niya na lang sa utak niya kung ano yung kaalaman na yun. And it says here that we remember knowledge and we acquire wisdom. Which is correct kasi nga 'di ba yung knowledge na meron yung soul natin bago pumasok sa katawan ng tao is perfect na, pero nung nasa loob na siya ng katawan ng tao is nakalimutan niya yon. Kaya kapag nakakatuklas na lang tayo ng bagong kaalaman, nare-recall na lang natin siya, and we acquire wisdom because acquiring wisdom is the usage of the knowledge that we remember to pursue a good life. Next is the limitations of a human person, o yung mga hindrances na naglilimit sa isang tao na gawin ng isang bagay. Meron dalawang uri na limitations. First is the bodily limitations or the limitations that are found within the body. Number 1, natural disabilities. Ito yung mga disabilities na naa-acquire ng isang tao pagkasilang pa lang niya. For example, ipinanganak ang isang tao na hindi nakakakita o bulag. Itong kapansanan niya na ito ang maglilimit sa kanya na gawin yung mga bagay na gusto niya. Number 2, mental and intellectual disabilities. Ito naman yung mga kapansanan o problema sa pag-iisip ng isang tao. Halimbawa nito is anxiety and mental disorders. Dahil din sa mga kapansanan na ito, malilimit yung isang tao na gawin yung mga bagay na gusto niyang gawin. Number 3, physical disabilities. Ito naman yung mga disabilities o kapansanan na makikita sa physical na kaanyuan ng isang tao. Halimbawa nga nito is yung amputated legs o yung putol na binti and deafness. For example, may isang tao na may kapansanan na amputated legs o putol ang binti. Dahil sa kapansanan niya na ito, malilimit siya na gawin din yung mga gusto niyang gawin sa buhay niya dahil meron nga siyang kapansanan, which is yung amputated legs niya o yung putol yung binti niya. Number 4, disease and illnesses. Ito naman yung mga sakit na naa-acquire mo, like for example, cough or ubo and hypertension. Dahil din sa mga sakit na ito, malilimit ang isang tao na gawin yung gusto niya. Halimbawa, merong ubo ang isang tao, nalilimit yung tao na yon na kumain ng mga matatamis para hindi lumala yung ubo niya. Number 5, failures and experiences. Ito naman yung mga karanasan mo sa buhay na mayroong negative impact sa'yo kaya nagpapahina ito sa kalooban mo. Halimbawa nga nito is failing a subject. Halimbawa, bumagsak ka sa isang subject mo. Dahil nga sa karanasang ito, nalilimit ka na mag-isip ng positibo dahil nga nagkaroon ito ng negatibong impact sa iyo at napanghihinaan ka ng loob. Next is social limitations or the limitations that cannot be found within the body. Number 1, socioeconomic status. Meron tatlong uri ng socioeconomic status, which is yung upper, middle, and lower. Yung socioeconomic status naman, ito yung naglilimit sa'yo na makamit mo yung gusto mong mga bagay dahil nga sa status mo sa buhay. Halimbawa, gusto mong pumasok sa isang magandang paaralan pero dahil nasa lower socioeconomic status ka, nalilimit ka na makamit mo yung gusto mo. Number 2, social environment. Ito naman yung mga naglilimit sa'yo na magkaroon ng isang mapayapang kapaligiran. Halimbawa nga nito is yung armed, disorganized, and violent environment. Best example nga nito is yung giyera na nangyari sa Marawi. Nalimit yung mga tao doon na magkaroon ng isang mapayapang kapaligiran dahil nga nagkakaroon ng giyera sa kanila. Number 3, abusive relationships. Ito naman yung naglilimit sa'yo na magkaroon ng isang magandang relasyon sa isang tao. Halimbawa nga nito is yung emotional abuse. Number 4. Negative influences. Ito naman yung naglilimit sa'yo na gumawa ng mga mabubuting bagay. Halimbawa, inaya ka ng mga kaibigan mo na uminom at gumamit ng bawal na gamot. Yung masamang impluensya ng mga kaibigan mo yung naglilimit sa'yo para gumawa ng mga mabubuting bagay. Next is possibilities of a human persons o yung mga opportunities na meron ng isang tao. Limitations can lead to possibilities. We are free to define who we are and who we are to be. Malaya raw tayo magdesisyon kung sino tayo at kung sino ang gusto natin maging. That's why with the proper mindset, clearly defined goals, and motivation to rise above challenges, one may overcome his or her limitations. Ma-overcome daw natin yung mga limitations natin kung meron tayong proper mindset o tamang pag-iisip, clearly defined goals o yung mga bagay na gusto nating ma-achieve, and motivation to rise above challenges o yung willingness natin na ma-overcome yung mga limitations natin. Next is when going beyond limitations. So kapag i-overcome daw natin yung mga limitations natin, lagi daw natin tatandaan na number 1, there is a room for improvement. Ibig sabihin, huwag ka daw panghihinaan ng loob sa tuwing nagkakamali ka dahil merong lugar para makapag-improve ka pa. Para sa susunod, kapag i-overcome mo ulit yung limitations mo, alam mo na kung ano yung gagawin dahil na-i-improve mo na yung sarili mo from the past. Number 2, your challenges are your learning opportunities. Ibig sabihin, yung mga challenges na kinakaharap mo ngayon para ma-overcome yung mga limitations mo, ayan yung magtuturo o magiging gabay mo para maging mas better ka pa. Number 3, your goals is important than your fears. Ibig sabihin, lagi mo daw tatandaan na mas mahalaga yung mga goals mo o yung mga bagay na gusto mo ma-achieve, which is yung ma-overcome yung limitations mo kaysa sa mga takot na nararamdaman mo. Kasi kung palaging takot ang paiiralin mo, hindi mo ma-overcome yung mga limitations mo. Number 4, your limitations can be your way towards perfection. Dahil nga sa mga limitations mo, ito yung magiging way para magpursige ka pa para ma-achieve mo yung goals mo and perfection. And the next part will be discussed by Miss Angel Lau.
So now, I will be discussing the philosopher's concepts on the limitations and possibilities of a human person. Let's start with Socrates or Socrates, a Greek philosopher. He said that man as a rational being must practice a good life due to acquisition of truth to become a virtuous man. A man who knows what is right will do what is right. Sinasabi ni Socrates na ang tao daw ay rational being na kapag na-acquired na nila yung truth and yung knowledge is dapat nilang ina-apply or sinasabuhay yon para maging virtuous man or magkaroon sila ng high moral standards. Sinasabi din ni Socrates na ang tao, pag nalaman nila kung ano yung mga dapat nilang gawin, ayun lang yung ginagawa nila. For example, is nasa highway ka and kailangan mong tumawid kasi yung pupuntahan mo is nasa kabilang banda pa. Pero may nakita kang babala or warning sign saying na bawal tumawid dito na kamamatay. Bilang ikaw, nabasa mo yon at naintindihan mo yung pinaparating ng warning sign na yon is kailangan mong maghanap ng pedestrian lane or ng overpass para dun tumawid since bawal ngang tumawid dun sa place kung nasaan ka. Next is Plato, a Greek philosopher also, and he said that man is rational and governed by his own intellect and will. Katulad ni Socrates, sinasabi ni Plato na ang tao ay isang rational being na may sariling pag-iisip at may sariling pagkukusang loob, na siya yung may responsibility sa mga actions niya. His limitations can be transcended when rationality takes over. Thus, he must be ruled by his head, not by his heart, to overcome his limitations. Sinasabi ni Plato na ma-overcome ng isang tao yung limitations niya kapag mas pinapagana niya yung rational thinking niya or yung rationality over sa emotions niya. For example is, may isang tao kang na-encounter or you have encountered a person na nakapag-commit ng isang mistake like nagnakaw siya. Nagnakaw siya ng malaking halaga to pay for his son's bill sa hospital. If you're going to judge him using your emotions, hindi mo ma-overcome yung limitations mo and hindi makukuha nung ninakawan niya yung justice na deserve niya. Pero kung mas papaganahin mo yung rational thinking mo o yung rationality mo, alam mo na mali yung nagawa niya and he have to pay for his mistake. Next is Aristotle, the last Greek philosopher, and he said that man is a rational being who acts according to what he thinks is right and man's goal of life is happiness. Sinasabi naman ni Aristotle na yung tao ay isang rational being na kumikilos sa kung anong tingin niya yung tama para sa kanya. And yung goal ng isang tao sa buhay is yung happiness. For example, is yung tao, may isang tao na tumutulong sa mga batang kalye or sa mga batang nandun sa kalsada. Ginagawa niya yon kasi para sa kanya, tama yung ginagawa niya na nakakatulong siya dun sa mga taong nangangailangan. And ginagawa niya rin yun kasi napapasaya siya noon and nakakakuha siya ng satisfaction in return. Next is Epictetus, a Roman philosopher, and he said that man must find happiness in himself, not in outside circumstances he cannot control. Sinasabi naman ni Epictetus na yung tao daw is hinahanap niya dapat yung happiness or sinisik niya yung happiness sa sarili niya at hindi sa ibang bagay or sa ibang tao. Kasi may mga uncertainties na pwedeng mangyari na hindi natin kontrolado. For example, dito is yung mga taong in a relationship. Dapat masaya sila within themselves or happy sila within themselves kasi hindi nila dapat dinadepende or binabase yung buong happiness nila dun sa partner nila. Kasi what if maghiwalay or mawala yung relationship nila? Sobrang devastation na mararamdaman mo kasi hindi mo na alam paano magsimula ulit kasi hinayaan mong yung happiness mo is nakadepende dun sa tao na yun. So we must find happiness sa sarili natin at hindi natin dapat dinadepende sa ibang bagay or sa ibang tao. Next is Marcus Aurelius, a Roman philosopher, and he said that man does not do evil willingly. He is not evil for he acts out of ignorance only. Sinasabi naman ni Marcus Aurelius na yung tao daw is hindi gumagawa ng masama ng kusang loob. Nakakagawa sila ng masama dahil hindi pa nila alam na masama yun. Parang ignorante pa sila sa bagay na yun. For example, dito yung mga bata. Diba, minsan nangungupit sila, nangaaway sila, nakakagawa sila ng mga bagay na hindi naman nila dapat ginagawa. Kasi ignorant pa sila or hindi pa nasasabi sa kanila na mali to, na masama to, kaya nila nagagawa yung mga bagay na yun. Next is Saint Augustine, a medieval philosopher, and he said that man is a great mystery because there is in a man which cannot be understood as a part of the world, as a thing among things. Para naman kay Saint Augustine, ang mga tao daw ay isang great mystery kasi may mga nagagawa yung mga tao na mahirap intindihin at mahirap ipaliwanag. For example, is yung mga taong nakakagawa na masasama. Parang ang hirap ipaliwanag kung bakit nila nagagawa yun kahit naman alam na nilang masama yung gagawin nila or hindi tama yung ginagawa nila. Hindi natin sila maiintindihan kung hindi natin ilalagay yung sarili natin dun sa sitwasyon nila or hindi natin itatry intindihan yung reason nila kung bakit nila nagawa yung bagay na yun. And the next part will be discussed by Miss Jennifer Palliar.
So, for the last medieval philosopher, Ezio di Mirandola, he said, man may make of himself what he wishes to be. He has no limitation and can act in accordance with his own free will. He alone can choose the limit of his nature. So, sinasabi ni Pico Mirandola in his concept na tayong tao can do whatever we want to do. Kaya nating magawa kung ano man ang nanaisin natin base sa sariling kagustuhan natin. Because tayong tao, ginawa tayo with no limitation. But tayong tao sa sarili natin, tayo ang may kakayahang magdikta ng limitasyon sa sarili natin, sa mga maaari nating gawin, and also sa magiging fortune natin. Either we choose to do what is right or yung tama, or what is wrong o kung ano yung mali. Nasa sa atin ang pagpili niyon. For example, you are in a situation na both you and your friend have a stable job, but your friend already got a promotion, a higher position, and you're not. When in fact, mas magaling ka dun sa friend mo na yon and your friend did something bad, something wrong lang to be promoted. And you dream to be in that position. So, nasa sayo ang limitasyon to do what is wrong, which is to do what your friend does to easily get your dream position, your dream promotion, and to choose what is right, which is to believe in yourself, to believe in your skill, your strength, and ideas, until you get your dream position, your dream promotion. So, nasa sa iyo ang limitasyon sa paggawa ng mali at sa pagpili ng tama. So, the next are the modern philosophers. So, the first one is Sirena Descartes. He said in his first statement, man existence find its meaning and value through himself. So, Rene Descartes' concept is same with the Roman philosopher Epictetus. Like Epictetus' concept saying, man must find happiness in himself and not in outside circumstances. So, sinasabi ni Rene Descartes in his concept na katulad kay Epictetus na tayong tao daw, ang buhay natin ay may ibig sabihin. Kaya tayo nabuhay kasi may halaga, may purpose, may value tayo as a human. And our life's meaning and value is madidiscover natin sa pamamagitan mismo ng sarili natin. Within ourselves, malalaman natin ano ba ang purpose, ano ba ang value natin, why do we exist. For example, maybe some children who are cancer survivor exist to give hope and strength to other children who are still fighting for their lives up until now. And maybe these cancer survival children already find within their self yung purpose ng existence nila. Alam na nila sa sarili nila kung bakit sila gumaling, kung bakit sila nag-i-exist, which is yung to give hope nga and strength nga para sa iba. So in the second statement naman, he said, he can only gain true knowledge the moment he learns to doubt for everything. So sinasabi naman dito sa second statement na tayong tao, when we start being doubt in our surrounding and in everything, that is the moment that we gain true knowledge. Why? Because doubt is one of the basis of knowledge. The moment you doubt about something is the moment na you will seek, you will look, you will search, and you will find for its meaning and the truthfulness of your new gain knowledge. So, you need to know if your new gain knowledge is true because in acquiring knowledge nga, the ultimate goal of knowledge is truth. So, yung statement na sinasabi ni René Descartes is true kasi when we doubt, it is true na ito yung start ng pag-gain natin ng true knowledge. For example, nung bata pa ako, madami pa akong hindi alam, hindi sigurado sa mundo. But nung nagsimula na akong lumaki, matuto, nagkaroon na ako ng muwang sa paligid ko, that's the start na nagkakaroon na ako ng mga doubt sa mga nalalaman at sa mga natututunan ko. If totoo ba yon? If tama ba yung natutunan ko? And yung doubt na yon, yun yung nagli-lead sa akin to look, to search, and to find answer that eventually leading me in gaining true knowledge. So, the next modern philosopher naman is si Niccolo Machiavelli. He said, man acts right only under compulsion or forced to do. All men are bad and ever ready to display their vicious nature whenever they may find occasion for it. So, Niccolo Machiavelli concept naman is opposite to the Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius na sinasabing, man does not do evil willingly. So, opposite siya sa sinasabi ni Niccolo Machiavelli in his concept na tayong tao daw, nakakagawa lamang daw tayo ng mabuti o ng tama due to compulsion na dahil lang sa pamimilit na ibang tao na gawin natin ito. Hindi dahil sa kusang loob or bukal sa loob nating gawin iyon. Dahil tayong tao daw, ay likas na masama at tanging pansariling kabutihan lamang ang nasa isip. We are all selfish na ang laging inuuna ay ang sarili lamang natin. At ayong tao daw ay kayang gumawa ng masama sa lahat ng maaaring pagkakataon. For example, may mga batang paslit pa lamang ay natututo ng mangupit ng pera. Why? Para sa pansarili nilang kasiyahan na makabili ng something ng gusto nila mula dun sa perang kinupit nila. And that shows na ang tao even at the young age, is selfish na at masama na. But, kapag in-act na nahuli ng mas nakatatanda ang gawaing iyong pangungupit ng bata, this is the time na gagawa na siya ng right, which is yung pagbabalik niya ng kinupit niya due to compulsion o dahil lang sa pamimilit ng iba, and hindi dahil sa bukal o kusang loob na pagsisisi niyang ginawa iyon, but dahil sa pamimilit at itinatama siya ng iba. So, the next modern philosopher naman is si John Locke. He said, man's understanding is so limited that comprehensive knowledge of the universe is beyond man's power to reach. So, sinasabi naman ni John Locke in his concept na tayong tao, ang capacity natin umintindi, ang kakayahan natin bilang tao is only limited. That's why people can't extensively or broadly understand everything in this universe. Kasi tayo bilang tao, we are limited being lamang. We can't do and understand all in this universe. We're not like God who is an absolute being that has a capacity to do and to understand all things. For example, people, doctor, or even scientists can think and discover on how to make a long-lasting life and to cure an uncurable disease in this universe. It is because we are limited being nga lang. We can't do everything and we can't understand everything. It is because it is beyond our capacity and our power and our control. So, the next modern philosopher is si David Hume. He said naman na man's knowledge comes from experience. All men possesses benevolence or act of kindness, which is the basis of his moral judgment. So, David Hume's concept naman is same with the Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius, which is yung concept nga ni Marcus Aurelius na man does not do evil willingly. So, same sila ni David Hume. Kasi sinasabi sa concept ni David Hume na we're not born with gain knowledge na hindi tayo pinanganak na may alam na agad. Tayong tao, we gain knowledge based on our experience, in our observation, perception, and sensation that we actually feel and actually see. And lahat tayong tao, we possesses benevolence or act of kindness. And we've done that benevolence based on our moral judgment, based on what we experience. Through what we actually see, actually feel, nakakagawa tayo ng benevolence or act of kindness. For example, you encounter an old granny who lives in the street and you gave her something to eat, a food, for she looks so weak. Yung ginawa mo is an act of kindness. You've done that maybe because based on your experience, maybe when you were a kid, you experienced to have a poor life and you can eat due to financial problem. So, you work hard na lang para makaahon ka sa kahirapan. So, na-experience mo nung kabataan mo, yung na-experience ng matanda. Kaya you've done that act of kindness. So, the next modern philosopher is Imag. He said, man cannot think of the mind and its objects as separate things. His mind must be actively involved with its object. So, sinasabi naman ni Immanuel Kant in his concept na ang pag-iisip ng tao ay hindi maaaring mahiwalay sa iniisip nito. Wherein yung object na tinutukoy is yung iniisip ng tao na gusto nitong isagawa, na gusto nitong gawin. So, both na pag-iisip or mind and iniisip or yung object or should be inseparable. And sinasabi na ang pag-iisip ng tao ay dapat nagko-connect sa iniisip nitong gawin or isagawa. For example, you are thinking and achieving to have a good grades. The object is yung iniisip mong to achieve a good grade. And yung mind mo should actively connecting to your object. So, para maisagawa mo yung nais mo, sinasabi nga na yung mind mo should actively connecting. So, you should focus on class, listen attentively, participate on recitation, and study hard to aim your object. So, for the next philosophers, it will be discussed or reported by Kim Yauna.
So, let's talk about other modern philosopher named Jeremy Bentham. So, he said that the value of every act of man derived from its usefulness and is for the greatest happiness of the greatest number of people. So, ayon sa kanya, ang importansya daw ng kilos ng tao is nakikita based doon sa kapakinabangan niya sa isang bagay. So, halimbawa, kung ikaw daw ay tambay, so walang trabaho, kumbaga kain tulog ka lang, tapos pag-uwi mo, doon kasi sa mga nanalo sabihin sa'yo na wala kang kwenta dito sa bahay, wala kang silbi, wala kang trabaho. So parang hindi ka na mag-value doon sa pamilya na yun kasi wala kang ginagawa. So unless may napapakinabangan sila sa'yo na dahil may trabaho ka na magbibigay ka ng pera, doon na ma-replace yung sarili mo doon sa pamilya kasi may nagagawa ka doon sa kanila. Sa paraw na batayan sa value ng gawa ng isang tao, is kung may napapasaya ka daw ng ibang tao. So, hindi lang sa sarili mo. So, halimbawa, kapag ikaw ay nakakatulong dun sa ibang tao, is napapasaya mo sila, dun yung parang napapataas yung halaga mo o na-recognize ka ng ibang tao. So, next, the modern philosopher John Stuart Mill. So, he said that man's virtue may have a value apart from the good consequences of his virtuous action. So, his conscience is the foundation of ethics. So, ayon naman sa kanya na yung kabutihan daw ng isang tao ay nakikita based doon sa kung ano yung mabuting ginagawa or ginawa niya. So, halimbawa, kapag daw isang tao is nakagawa ng mabuti, hindi lang para sa kanyang sarili, o na rin sa ibang tao, matatawag daw siyang mabuting tao. So, ayon pa sa kanya na yung conscience or yung konsensya is yun yung magdidikta na kung tama or mali yung ginagawa or nagawa ng isang tao. So, for example, nakapulot ka ng pera sa daan, malaking halagang pera. So, nagdalawang isip ka ngayon kung ibabalik mo o hindi yung pera. Doon na mapasok si konsensya na magkasabi sa'yo kung tama ba o mali yung gagawin mo. So, since naisip mo na baka yung malaking halagang pera ngayon, yung may-ari mo is mas nangangailangan kesa sa'yo, gawin mo is surrender mo ngayon yung pera na yun sa police or ibabalik mo doon sa may-ari ng pera. So, for the second to the last modern philosopher, named Friedrich Nietzsche. So he said that man's most basic and strong motivation is not love, but the will to power. So we struggle for existence meaningless without the will to power. So ayon naman kay Friedrich Nietzsche, So, the basic motivation to something is our will to power. So, hindi daw yung pagmamahal. So, yung will to power is yun yung desire or passion natin na gawin yung isang bagay. Or yung kagustuhan gawin yung isang bagay. So, kaya naman, kaya tayo is nag-exist at nabubuhay sa mundo is dahil gusto nating mabuhay. So, we have a will to power to exist in this world and do whatever we want to do. Kaya sabi niya, kung wala kang desire or kagustuhan mabuhay, hindi ka mag-exist at hindi mo magagawa yung gusto mong gawin dito sa mundo. From the last modern philosopher, Karl Marx. So, ayon sa kanya, na man's life is determined primarily by the material conditions for him to live. So, his nature lies at the bare society and labor. Thus, he has no value and meaning without labor. So, basically kay Karl Marx, sabi niya is ang buhay daw ng tao ay nadidetermine o nakikita, napapalagahan kung may material na bagay siya para mabuhay. So, for example, meron siyang bahay, kasuotan, kotse, and any material thing. So, ayon pa sa kanya na yung value daw ng isang tao sa society or sa lipunan is nagbe-base kapag siya is may labor or trabaho. So, tulad nung kay Jeremy Bentham na yung value ng isang tao is nare-recognize lang siya kapag may napapakinabangan sa ng ibang tao. So, ganun din yung kay Karl Marx na ibig sabihin, kapag wala kang trabaho, wala napapakinabangan sa iyong pamilya mo, hindi ka mga-value ng pamilya mo or ng lipunan kasi nga wala kang trabaho. In short, wala kang ambag sa lipunan. Yun yung view ni Karl Marx. So, let's go to the contemporary philosophers. So, first contemporary philosopher is si Edmund Husserl. So, he said that man can be understood according to the world he lives in, for the world is an integral aspect of his existence. So, ayon naman kay Edmund Husserl, may lamang daw ng ibang tao yung isang tao kapag nilagay nila yung sarili nila doon sa sitwasyon ng tao yun. For example, doon sa mga documentary. Kapag napipicture yung buhay ng mga taong nasa lansangan. So, in order for them to understand kung paano nabubuhay yung mga tao dun sa lansangan, kailangan nilang manirahan or itry yung mga experiences, yung pamumuhay ng mga taong yun. For example, kailangan nilang tumira doon, kailangan nilang kumain din ng mga kinakain ng mga taong yun para mas maintindihan nila yung sitwasyon ng mga taong nasa lansangan. Kaya nga diba may kasabihan tayo na try to put yourself in the other people's shoe para mas maintindihan mo yung sitwasyon o yung kalagayan ng isang tao. So, let's go to the last contemporary philosopher, Gabriel Marcel. So, he said that man needs to transcend his life, being, experience, feeling, presence, and togetherness as a mystery. So, ayon sa kanya na yung tao daw is dapat maging mysterious sa mga bagay patungkol sa kanyang sarili. So, kagaya ng kanyang buhay, experiences, kanyang feelings o nararamdaman, presensya, at yung kabuuan ng kanyang pagkatao. So, halimbawa, kapag daw isang tao is naging isang misteryoso, there's a chance daw na yung mga tao na nasa paligid niya is ma-curious at aalamin pa or kikilalanin pa siya talaga. Kasi batay sa paniniwala ni Gabriel Marcel na mas magkakaroon daw ng essence ang buhay ng tao kapag may mga bagay daw siya na hindi ipinapakita sa iba. That is our presentation all about limitation possibilities of human person. So with that, we heartily welcome your views, queries, and applause. Thank you for watching.